At the beginning of the story, a white van stops in the parking lot of a building and a man steps out holding a large sniper rifle. He calmly throws a coin to pay for parking and sets up his position. In front of him is a park where many people are walking peacefully, but after watching for a while, he suddenly starts targeting innocent people. He fires 6 shots and kills 5 people, showing no mercy. The scene shocks everyone and raises a big question. Why did this happen without any reason, and what secret is hidden behind it? Soon, the police arrive and begin their investigation, led by the skilled detective Emerson. During the search, Emerson finds an important clue, the same coin used for parking. When the fingerprints on the coin are scanned, they match an ex-military sniper named James. Since all the murders were done with a sniper rifle, James becomes the main suspect. The police quickly arrest him, and from his house they find bullets, rifles, and even the same van, making it seem clear that he is the killer. They sit in a coffee shop where Helen records their conversation. Reacher says he also believes James is the killer, but when Helen asks for proof, he turns off the recorder and explains James's past. James was a highly skilled sniper in the US military who practiced thousands of shots every week and could hit targets from a mile away. He was obsessed with finding real enemies to test his skills. Eventually he was sent on a mission to Iraq, thinking he would finally get real targets, but instead he was only told to watch civilians. For 2 long years he waited for a chance to use his skills, slowly building frustration that would later change everything. But no enemy ever appeared there, and without making a single kill, James slowly started breaking from the inside. For a professional and obsessed sniper like him, this was extremely painful. In his frustration, he finally committed a serious crime and shot 4 random people with his sniper rifle. Because of this act, he was court-martialed, and the investigation of that case was given to Jack Reacher. During the investigation, Reacher discovered that the 4 people James had killed were actually returning after committing a gang rape on the same day, although James himself did not know this. When the truth came out, the case against him became weak, and with Reacher's help, James escaped punishment. Even after hearing this story, Helen is not ready to believe that James is guilty this time. She asks Reacher why James confessed before but is now silent, and she requests his help to get fair justice for him. However, Reacher refuses and leaves, making Helen feel hopeless because without him, winning the case seems impossible. On the other hand, Reacher starts thinking deeply. He questions whether a trained sniper would leave all the evidence behind and whether someone trying to release frustration would wait to get caught. These thoughts make him realize that he must look at the case calmly instead of emotionally. He suddenly gets off the bus, returns to Helen, and agrees to help her with one condition. She must meet the families of the victims and learn everything about their personal lives, and if James turns out to be guilty, she will leave the case. Helen agrees, not knowing that a dangerous hitman named Linsky is secretly watching her every move because the real killer already knows that Jack Reacher is involved. Meanwhile, Reacher revisits the crime scene and carefully analyzes everything, asking himself 3 key questions. Why, how, and who? After studying every detail, he becomes almost sure that James is being framed. At the same time, Helen visits one of the victims' families, but as soon as she reveals that she is the lawyer of the accused, they react with anger and hatred, forcing her to leave in fear. For the first time, she realizes how much pain and hatred people have for James. Later, her father Alex scolds her, saying that such investigations are not a lawyer's job. That night, Reacher sits alone thinking and raises an important question. If the killer was truly guilty, why would he even bother paying for parking? Just then, a girl named Sandy approaches him and tries to flirt, but Reacher clearly says he has no money for her, which she misunderstands as an insult. She calls her friends and 5 boys come to attack him, but they have no idea who they are dealing with. Reacher calmly says he only needs to fight 3 of them because once the leader falls, the others will run. Within seconds, he knocks the leader down and defeats the others easily, breaking one's leg and throwing another to the ground while the rest run away. At that moment, the police arrive and arrest him. Helen later comes to get him released, and Reacher explains that the whole situation felt planned, as someone is trying to get him killed, especially since he was followed earlier that day. He then asks Helen about the victims, and she explains that all of them were simply there for normal reasons like shopping or daily tasks, and were unlucky to be at the wrong place. Reacher concludes that one of the 5 must have been the real target because all the stories were ordinary except for one woman named Only Archer. Her story stands out because her husband owned a large construction company but died suddenly, leaving everything to her. She had the chance to sell the company but refused despite pressure, and this decision may have cost her life. However, Helen reminds Reacher that this is still just a theory and without solid evidence they cannot win the case. Reacher tells Helen to fully investigate James's personal life, where he went, who he met, and to check his bank and credit card records. Meanwhile, the hitman Linsky meets the real sniper Charlie, the man who actually killed the 5 victims, but their meeting is mainly to keep an eye on Reacher. At the same time, another powerful mastermind behind the whole plan appears, and instead of forgiving mistakes, he kills Charlie to remove any loose ends. Helen later tells Reacher that James's credit card records show nothing useful because he lived a very lonely life with no friends or regular activities, but Reacher notices something important. James often filled his car's tank, which suggests he traveled far for shooting practice since a dedicated sniper cannot stay away from shooting for long. He asks Helen to collect information about nearby shooting ranges. Reacher then visits Sandy, who works at an auto parts shop, and forces her to tell the truth. She reveals that a man named Jeb sent her to distract and trap Reacher. He warns her to leave the city for her safety and then goes to Jeb's house, but finds it destroyed, showing something serious happened there. Soon, attackers sent by the criminals try to kill Reacher, but he defeats them easily using his skills and learns nothing useful from them. While leaving, he notices a car following him and gives the number to Helen, which leads them to a company called Levin. This company is linked to the same business conflict involving Archer Construction, making it clear that this is not a random killing case but a planned attack targeting only Archer, and the other 4 victims were killed only to cover the real motive. Helen still says they need solid proof, but Reacher promises he will find it. Meanwhile, Sandy is killed by the hitman, and when police arrive, Emerson sees her body and assumes Reacher is responsible. Reacher, seeing the scene, feels deeply disturbed but escapes as Emerson tries to arrest him, leading to a high-speed chase. He uses his driving skills to escape, leaves his car in a crowded area, and hides by taking a bus, shocking the police. Later, he contacts Helen while Emerson and her father try to convince her that Reacher is dangerous, but she does not believe them. Reacher warns her that someone close to them must be involved because only a few people knew his location, and then she gives him the address of James's shooting range. The next day, Reacher meets the owner Martin Cash, who agrees to help only if Reacher hits 3 perfect shots, which he successfully does, proving his identity. Martin shows him James's practice targets, but Reacher suspects they were not made by James alone. CCTV footage later reveals another man always with James at the range, the dangerous sniper Charlie, confirming their connection. Reacher informs Helen while she tries to gather more legal evidence against the corrupt Archer Construction case, but her father refuses to take it seriously and only tries to protect her. Helen refuses and takes the elevator, but Emerson arrives and knocks her unconscious with a taser, and his men take her away, making it clear that Emerson is also part of the gang. Meanwhile, when Reacher calls Helen, Charlie answers the phone and threatens him, saying that if he wants to save Helen he must reach the given location within 2 hours. But Reacher refuses to back down and tells him that he has all the evidence against them and is going straight to the FBI, telling Charlie to do whatever he wants with Helen. Hearing this, everyone is shocked, but Reacher calls again and says he is coming, and if even a single harm comes to Helen, he will bury them all alive. This scares Charlie, and he gives Reacher the full location of their hideout. Reacher immediately heads out to rescue Helen, and Martin goes with him, an old but highly skilled shooter who is ready to provide sniper cover. Helen is held in a secret location where she comes face to face with an old man named Jack, who is actually the real owner of Lavender Company and the mastermind behind the whole plan. Reacher calls Helen and reassures her that as long as he is alive, no one can touch her, and then he moves forward alone with only a knife. The enemies are heavily armed, so he cleverly sends his car down a slope and advances through heavy gunfire while the vehicle gets destroyed. Martin provides cover fire from above, distracting the enemies, and Reacher uses the opportunity to take them down one by one with his bare hands. After a tough fight, he realizes that this is not the real location and Helen is being held somewhere else. He then uses a bulldozer to move toward the actual site, where he suddenly attacks and surprises the enemies. Martin loses his life during the mission, but Reacher does not stop. Finally, he reaches Charlie and Jack, forcing Charlie to drop his weapon. Reacher challenges Charlie to a hand-to-hand fight instead of shooting, and in a brutal combat, he defeats and kills Charlie using his military skills. At the same time, Emerson holds Helen hostage, but Reacher takes a perfect shot that kills Emerson without harming Helen. The truth is finally revealed. Reacher gets a chance to capture Jack alive, but knowing he might escape justice, he kills him on the spot. Helen feels hopeless because there are no witnesses left, but Reacher assures her that he will still free James. In the end, James wakes up with no memory of the incident but believes he may have committed the crime, until Helen asks him the same question Reacher predicted. James answers exactly the same way Reacher said, proving he is innocent. In the final scene, Reacher leaves on a bus heading toward an unknown destination. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.